Hello everyone, welcome to Market Voice. We are trying to pick up wisdoms from warfield literature, The Art of War, as written by a very great Chinese warrior SunTzu 2500 years ago, and we are seeing how we can map those wisdoms into our trading activities. We saw there are about 13 chapters in this book, and very precisely SunTzu writes about certain aspects on how to win the war, how to manage the resources, all of those things. What all points you need to keep in mind, how you have to assess the enemy, how you have to assess the self. What will happen if you do not prepare yourself enough? What are all the main things as a commander in chief you have to take care while waging a war? What kind of counsel you need to take from whom? So in that, the very first chapter is about planning. Any activity, we know how important the planning is. That is the starting point. That gives you a kind of framework, that gives you a kind of base for you to build upon. You want something, but how to go about doing it is the blueprint that you need to put. Okay, you have a goal of this, achieving this particular activity, but how do you go about achieving those activities is all part of your planning process. So your planning process itself, you will know the challenges, you can foresee lot many things, and you can beforehand preempt those challenges, and you can prepare yourself even for many of the unforeseen events. So the more and more you prepare beforehand, your chances of encountering unforeseen events will diminish, and you will be more prepared for the challenges that are anyway you have already anticipated. So as part of this planning process, SunTzu very nicely puts across one important aspect of war, wherein he says in his 18th point, he says all warfare is based on deception. All warfare is based on deception. Very important. You have to deceive your opponent by giving some kind of false signals. He says, when able to attack, we must seem unable. When we are fully prepared, we should make ourselves look like we are unprepared. When using our forces, we must seem inactive. We are already in action, but the enemy should perceive us as inactive. When we are near, we should make the enemy believe we are far away, and when we are far away, we should make him believe we are near. So these kind of deception activities are very important in the warfield, so that enemy gets confused and he might put some missteps for which you are already prepared. So warfield strategies, one of the important thing to note is how you can deceive your enemy. You have to win, yes, but at the same time, you may have to do some deception tactics. In our Sanatana Shastras about warfare, there are very clear set rules how you should not attack the enemy from behind. You should not attack or kill the enemy when he surrenders himself. As a war prisoner, you should take care of him well. You should never disrupt the enemy citizens. So that way there are many warfield wisdoms that are important. There also you can see in Kurukshetra war in Mahabharata, there are certain deception tactics wherein in one of the instance there is Dronacharya blows a conch while the announcement is made, wherein the announcement was Ashwattama Hata Kunjaraha, which means Ashwattama's elephant is dead. The announcement was in Kurukshetra war, the announcement was Ashwattama Hata Kunjaraha, which means Ashwattama's elephant is killed. But there somebody blows a conch and what people will hear is only Ashwattama Hataha, which means Ashwattama got killed. There is a small deception in this. So in warfield, maybe it is necessary for adopting certain deception tactics to win the battle. Now, taking this information or knowledge or wisdom, how do we adapt it to our trading activities? Well, you should know very well, even in trading there are deceptions that keeps happening right in front of our eyes. Please note, when you are in front of a trading terminal, when you check the order book, for example, you take any stock's order book, there will be more of buyers and less of sellers, or there will be more of sellers, total buyers waiting in the line and total sellers waiting in the line. There will always be mismatch, and when you see buy orders are waiting more and sell orders are waiting less, you get a kind of feeling there are more people waiting to buy. That means markets will go up, but you will see markets are going down. So there is a deception that is being displayed on the screen from the influential participants or players in the market who are able to manage the orders by putting fake orders or false orders or orders which are very far off from the current traded price, which gives a kind of a deceptive bullish outlook on the market. So these kind of deceptions we have seen many a times. Whenever the order book shows more buyers and less sellers, on that day it is more of a down day than a up day. Very few days you get a good bullish trend when the order book is showing bullish bias. So the influential players are deceptive, or they will try to deceive the smaller players who don't have enough knowledge about these things. Many years before, when I was in the trading field, I used to watch the order book, then I used to start making notes. Whenever the order book shows bullish bias, it means on that day it is showing a negative trend in the price action. Then I understood why is that kind of a bullish bias. Then I understood there is some kind of deception which is being displayed on the screen to allure the small traders or investors. See, you should remember one thing, trading is all about zero sum game. I don't know how much the market gives me, but I know how much I have to give to the market. So I have to safeguard at all times my capital. And the other person also knows that fact, and he wants to lure you in some way so that he can get some money out of your pocket. If everybody is safe, then there is no trade happening at all. Beyond the safety, they will try to show some alluring incentives so that you can make some money. In that process, they will put 1 rupee and they will take away 2 rupees from you. So these kind of deceptions do happen even in our stock markets. We need to be careful of the deception. Because we are not influential players, we cannot deceive the market's overall movement. We are all insignificant players in the market. So we cannot deceive the opponent. Our opponents are fellow retail traders, our opponents are fellow HNI investors or traders, our opponent are DIS, our opponents are FIS, our opponents are proprietary desk players, our opponents are operators. In front of all of these people, how do we really deceive them? It is near to impossible. So we shouldn't even attempt those strategies as a retail investor. But then, since you are not adopting a deceptive strategy, doesn't mean you should not know about what all the kind of deceptions that happen to you. You should safeguard your capital, because of which you should know the kind of deceptions that happen in the market done by bigger players than you. Then you can safeguard yourself from such follies. So you should know what kind of deceptions do happen in the market. They will, like, show two candles up and immediately they will pull it down. So which means, like, there is some kind of deceptive movement that keep happening. Be aware of it. You are not the creator of those deceptive tactics, but you should not become victim of those deceptions. You need to protect yourself from the deceptions. Keep one thing in your mind: there are certain deceptive movements in terms of volume, price action, orders, open interest, everything. There could be something deceptive which you don't know about it. If you are in that safety mindset, then you will be protecting your capital more rigorously. So that's what is more important. Well, today's topic was all about deception. Here we can't be a creator of deception in the market, but at the same time we should be aware of different types of deceptions that happen to you and protect yourself from that, so that you can be in the market for a longer time zone. Well, let us once again meet with one other information tomorrow. Until then, Om Swasti.